Hello my colorful nerds, my name is Neko, my pronouns are they, them, and on the background behind me you will see a speed paint featuring tiny little mushroom people wearing pride flags. I'm making them as designs to go on my Redbubble, and I would really appreciate it if you all went to the description of this video and clicked the Redbubble link and bought yourself some, because every little bit of that money is support from me to support me and tell me to keep doing the things that I'm doing. However, I figured that a speed paint would be a little bit boring, so we're also going to talk about my bad experiences in the Friday Night Funkin' modding community. Let's jump right into it. If you've been subscribed for a while, then you probably are aware of the animatics I posted based on my FNF X-Souls AU. Notice that I said AU and not mod, and that is because the story of FNF X-Souls is just that. It is a story and visual elements that I have made based on Friday Night Funkin', but I never made a mod for them. Not something that you can play in the game or with the actual files or the code or anything like that. I just made visual assets of what I think that would look like, and animatics featuring the story of it. And when I uploaded those animatics, a lot of people really wanted me to turn it into a mod, including myself. I wanted that so badly. And lo and behold, 3 different modders offered their services to me, one after another after another. And how did that experience go? Good, you hope, right? Good, and now that we're a year from those animatics, surely I have some progress on this mod that I wanted so desperately, that so many people wanted so desperately. No. That is not good. It did not go well. The first modder that I encountered, we'll call him Jeff for the story. Jeff seemed really nice. I was super ecstatic. He was the first one that offered, and therefore first pickings, first served. Wish I hadn't though. Wish I had looked a little bit further into what he was about before I started DMing him. My mistake did not happen again. And I say this because after the first couple of hours of talking to Jeff, I corrected him on my pronouns. For those of you that aren't aware, I am gender fluid, which means that I don't always use the same pronouns all the time. So I corrected him on what my pronouns were, and then Jeff got really angry, really agitated, really quickly. It kind of felt like Gemini 180 style. Out of nowhere, he starts to cuss me out. He calls me all these names, saying that I was disgusting and like, how dare I not tell him, which is insanity to me. You would think that someone like me would make it perfectly clear that I was on the not aligning with my gender spectrum. So I don't know exactly how I could have been clearer with that, and I don't think it was my fault, honestly. I think we were both just a little excited and we jumped into things and we did not check each other's bios. I mean, good that he made me aware of it when he did, instead of like, I don't know, a couple of days into the project and like say we had like actual stuff done instead of just talking about what we wanted to do. I'm glad that that didn't go any farther. Now, unfortunately, it did go somewhere with the second developer. Let's get into that. The second developer who offered his help to me, we will call him Steven. After the Jeff experience, you can bet your bottom dollar that I definitely checked the bio and the background information of Steven before I allowed him to work with me. So I made sure that he was not a bigot, he was not homophobic, he was not transphobic in any way before I started working with him. However, when he asked me for the concept art of BF and GF, which I happily supplied literally within hours because I was so excited to finally be working on something, he took those concepts and then had another artist from the team, from a team that he knew, make the sprites for him. And it was very confusing to me because I was pretty sure that I was going to work on the sprites. He just wanted to see the concept art for what we were doing, to know what we were doing, to plan it out. And instead, what it seemed like was happening was he was getting other people to do the art, like he thought I couldn't do it. And when I confronted him about this, he said point blank to my face, "I just don't like your art for the mod." Insanity. it's literal insanity that anybody would expect you to just hand off your artistic, when you are a artist, when I am basing my entire career off art, you would assume that something like this would be something that I would make the art for. It was mind-boggling to me that he would think that I would just hand that over to someone else. And when I said as much, he also got mad at me. It was the same as what happened with Jeff. Steven just got really aggressive really fast when I didn't want to hand over the artistic abilities to someone else. And so I stopped working on the mod with Steven just as I had done with Jeff. Banhammer's hard. No communication line anymore. After those two experiences, I was ready to give up. I really was. I was ready to give up. I did not want to be shouted at anymore. I was not prepared to deal with another loud-mouthed person who was going to cuss me out and call me names. My self-esteem could not take it. I was ready to just drop the entire thing and leave it at the animatic stage and just have it not go any further. And just as I had given up hope, as I was ready to cut my losses, out of the blue, here comes a third developer with his team wanting to create this mod for me. And we'll call him Bartleby, because Bartleby is silly, and this person was not mean to me. They were not angry or aggressive, but it was a very awkward experience that I had to give up making the mod. So I wouldn't call it positive. Bartleby was a minor. I cannot stress that enough. I'm pretty sure almost everyone on that team was a minor. And I am not a minor. I am an adult. I'm 20 years old now. So I do not have the luxury of being as calm and non-stress-free around minors as I used to be when I was a minor myself. In the FNF community specifically, the minors there don't have boundaries. They're really bad at being able to tell where the boundary of what an appropriate conversation is with an adult and what isn't. And unfortunately for me, Bartleby did not know that boundary and crossed it several times, and when it got really bad, I had to fully cut off contact and any work on the mod afterwards. So I have little more to say on this matter other than the modder community of FNF is, while creative, very filled with bigots and people who make me uncomfortable, and so the mod itself is probably going to have to wait a long time. I'm still open, still looking for help, and I think I've gotten help recently, but the FNF X-Souls mod is probably not going to come out anytime soon, and by the time that it does, I expect that FNF will have died down a lot more, so I don't know, we'll see where things go. You'll probably get a new animatic soon, at least. But yeah, I hope that story was enough to keep you engaged for the whole video. Remember to leave a like if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already, that way you'll get it when the next animatic for FNF X-Souls comes out. Check my Redbubble for these designs. Subscribe to my Patreon, maybe, and my Ko-fi. Those two things have cool things that will give you discounts on my commissions and sneak peek access into the background of these videos. Stay colorful, nerds. Bye!